today is the finale of Tag Week, and I meant for Tag Week to go a little bit longer, but I got kind of busy, so I wasn't able to upload videos the last few days. But for today's finale, I'm super excited because I have created my very own tag that I'm calling the Ghosts of Perfumes Past tag, and I'm going to do a giveaway at the end. So make sure you watch all the way to the end to see what I'm giving away and what you need to do to win. So this tag kind of came about because I was interested in sampling some of the perfumes that I used to wear. And as I was kind of looking for them, I was able to find most of them for like really, really cheap because they've been out for a long time. A lot of them weren't expensive, you know, so to speak, to start with. So yeah, anyway, so that's kind of what got me thinking about creating this tag, because once I had ordered some of those fragrances, I was like, oh my God, it would be so fun to do a tag completely devoted to fragrances from our past. And I tried to make the questions so that no matter how old you are, for the most part, I would say if like you're at least in your 20s, you can probably answer them. But if you are younger than in your 20s and you want to do this tag, then feel free to tweak it how you need to accommodate your particular age. And if you're older than me, I'm in my mid-late 30s, starting to get to late 30s, but mid-30s. If you're older than me, you can obviously tweak it as well, but I think it would still work perfectly fine if you're at least kind of in your mid-late 20s or older. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and begin with the first question. And by the way, all the questions will be in the description box below in case you'd like to do this tag yourself. Question number one is pretty straightforward, but it honestly took me a long time to remember what the answer was. And that question is, what is the very first perfume you ever owned? And for me, I finally remembered that it was indeed this one here. This is from Coty, and it's called Exclamation, as you could probably figure out. This one was super, super popular in the like kind of early mid-90s, I would say, was when it was most popular. And I remember that I got this from Walmart when Walmart was brand new in my town. Like when I was younger, like elementary age, we did not have a Walmart, but we got one in, I think, probably about when I was in middle school. And so, yeah, in the early mid-90s, I picked this up from Walmart. I don't think it was very expensive then, and now I was able to find it for not much at all. But this particular fragrance is supposed to have like a lot of like peach or apricot in it. I don't get so much of that. I sprayed this little tester strip ahead of time, and I kind of like, when I smelled it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember what this smells like. I still get a lot of like heliotrope and musk. It's very powdery to me. I can maybe get some sort of fruit in there, but it's not very strong. For me, it's mostly a powdery scent. I don't think it's bad, but it's not something that I would wear now. But I do think people still like this. I do see it around a lot. It still is sold many, many places. So if you like this, that's great. It's just, I'm not really big into powdery scents. But yeah, that's the very first perfume that I ever owned. My second question is, what perfume reminds you most of your teenage years? And I actually picked out two different ones because one reminds me more of like 13, 14-ish, and then the other one reminds me more of like kind of high school age. So you can do it how you like, but I picked out two to show you guys. So the one that reminds me of my sort of like middle school into early high school years is this one here. This is from Tommy Hilfiger, and it's called Tommy Girl. Been around a long time. If you are my age or older, you probably are somewhat familiar with this scent. This and the next one I'm going to show you are both very reminiscent of the perfumes that came out in the 90s that were very clean, fresh, some florals. So this one, the top notes here, let me smell it again. I definitely get some citrus in here, probably lemon. And then I do get a lot of florals in this one. I can't be sure exactly what they are. I know there's some white florals in here. And this one to me has kind of like a woody base. And that's like, again, like I said, it's really popular sort of style in the 90s. So this one just really kind of represents that to me. Now, if you are younger than me, obviously you might not be talking about the 90s. And if you're older, maybe you're talking about the 80s or 70s or whatever. But for me, I was a teenager primarily in the 90s. And so this just is really representative of that time for me. The other one I picked that I wore when I was a little bit older in high school was CK1. And again, if you are my age or older, and even actually it's still I think, pretty popular. So even if you're younger than me, you're probably pretty familiar with this one. And this one is like this is the scent of the 90s, in my opinion. I feel like, you know, it was really the first truly like marketed unisex fragrance. Like, it was pushed as a unisex fragrance. So I think it made quite an impact because of that. And this one honestly doesn't really seem dated to me. It definitely has that 90s sort of style. Like I said, it opens with like citrus and it has some florals. This one has some musk in it. Whereas the Tommy Girl, I do not think has musk in it. But I just feel like this one hasn't really become dated yet. And honestly, I think I would still wear the Tommy Girl as well, but I would definitely still wear CK1. So that is the other one that reminds me a lot of my teenage years, which again, primarily occurred in the 90s, mid to late 90s. So my third question is one that if you are in your 20s or even younger, you might want to tweak because it is about your 20s. But if you're at least in your mid-20s, you could answer this for like your early 20s. So the question is, what fragrance or fragrances most represent your 20s? And for me, the first one I picked is from like kind of right around when I was still a teenager, like 18, 19, but then like early 20s, 20, 21. And that one would be Ralph by Ralph Lauren. And again, this is another fragrance that I still see quite a bit. It's still sold. I even see this in Ulta and places like that still. So this one has lasted quite a while. But this one, honestly, I still think, even though I think it came out in 2000, it still sort of has that 90s freshies type of vibe that you see in the last couple fragrances that I talked about. So this opens with green apple and some citrus. I know there are some white florals in here, and this one seems like it has some musk to it as well to me. But I do really like this one. I'm not sure that I would reach for it a ton. I actually did wear it today, and I still like it, but I don't think it's my style anymore. So I'm not sure I would continue to wear this one, but I do still like the way it smells. So that one is Ralph by Ralph Lauren. The next one that's more representative of kind of like the middle part of my 20s is from Dolce & Gabbana, and it is light blue. And if you are watching this video right now, I'm gonna say it's pretty safe to assume that you have likely smelled this before. And honestly, I think of all fragrances, this is the one I would be the most confident about picking out every single time. Like anytime somebody has this on, I'm like, you have light blue on, and I can always tell it. So I don't even need to spray this one. I have the scent of this memorized. It has green apple and lemon primarily, and that's pretty much what I get from it. I still love this. I actually just picked up this little, it was a pre-owned bottle, so I got it really cheap. It's also a smaller size. Yeah, so would I wear this? Yes, of course, I would still wear it. I've been wearing the Italian Zest Flanker. That's the one that I currently have until I just picked this one up. But I love it. I love them. Do they last a long time? Well, I think the Intense one's supposed to last longer, but in general, no. But yeah, love this one, and I wore this a ton in my mid-20s. Okay, my fourth question is, what fragrance did you try when you were a teenager but you didn't like? And this might be hard for some people because if you didn't like it, you probably didn't buy a bottle. But even as a teenager, I apparently thought it was a good idea to blind buy. And I remember, and I didn't even pick this up because of the memory that I have of this fragrance. I picked up, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, J.Lo Glow. And I'll put a picture here. But that, oh, that fragrance immediately, like full blown like migraine headache the second I smelled it. And for some reason, I just thought it was a great idea to buy a bottle. I think it was because at the time when I was like in my like late high school years, I was really into J.Lo, and I loved her music, and I loved like the clothes. She used to have clothes. Do you guys remember that? She used to have, maybe she still has a clothing line. I don't know. She had clothes out back then though, that I wore, and I just really liked her. So I think that's why I picked up the bottle without even testing it. And God, I had to give it away. I think I gave it to like one of my high school friends or something. I have no idea where it went, but that one, oof, I think it's a really heavy white floral fragrance. And I've noticed a lot of times that like really heavy white floral fragrances do give me headaches. So that's probably what it was. But as a teenager, I didn't even know what a note was. So anyway, that is the one for my teenage years. And like I said, I'll put a picture here, but I wasn't even going to attempt to smell that again because of the very intense headache it gave me immediately. So for question 5 now, it's kind of the same idea. I want to know, what fragrance did you try to wear in your 20s that just didn't work for you? And for me, it was, and I just got a little sample because obviously I didn't want a bottle of it. And this is, again, another unpopular opinion because that fragrance I just talked about and this one are still really popular. This one, I have this tiny sample. You're not gonna be able to see probably, but this one is from Aquilina and it is Pink Sugar. And people love this. It's cotton candy, guys. I don't really know how else to describe this, but it smells like cotton candy. So if you like that, great, go for it. A lot of people still love this fragrance. I think it came out, it was the early 2000s. It was after I graduated high school and I was in college. But yeah, this one is just way too sweet for me. It was then, and it still is. I do like sweet fragrances though, but this one, I think because it's like that sugary sweet as opposed to like caramel or something like that. It's like straight up like white sugar sweet. I think that's why this just doesn't work for me. It does also tend to, like if I were to wear this all day, because I remember trying it in the past, it does also tend to give me a little bit of a headache, I think because it is so sweet. But it doesn't, like I don't think it smells bad when I smell, I just can't wear this. So that one is Pink Sugar. Question number 6 is, what perfume or perfumes did you wear when you were younger that you still wear today? And for this one, I kind of made the criteria of like, I've worn it at least off and on for 10 years or so. But again, depending on your circumstance, you can decide how you wanna pick these. But I picked 2, you don't have to pick 2, you can pick 1 if you want. Both of them I've talked about before, so I'm not gonna say a whole lot here, but the first one is Emporio Armani She. And this one has sandalwood, vanilla, it has an almond note to it that I pick up, some like a little bit of powderiness or heliotrope or something like that in here. But this one definitely I've worn, you know, like not, like I don't wear a ton, but I've worn it off and on for at least more than 10 years. I would say pushing 15 years. And then the other one, also closer to 15 years, is Anamori by Anamori. And I've talked about this one before. This one does have black currant in it. It's a nice like fruity, woody, floral type of fragrance. Again, I think actually both of those in some ways have that similarity in that they do have this kind of woodiness, but also some like florals to them. Anyway, this one I've talked about before, reminds me of my husband because I wore it when we first met. And like I said, I've been wearing it for pushing 15 years at this point. So that's a good one, and I do still wear this one somewhat frequently. All right, my 7th question is, what perfume did you used to wear but you would no longer wear? And obviously the exclamation I already mentioned I wouldn't wear now, but I still find that to be pretty pleasant, and I think if I smelled it on somebody else, I wouldn't mind it at all. But this one I used to wear, again, when I was like probably middle school years, and this is another one I remember getting at the Walmart that was brand new back then. But this one is from Liz Claiborne and it's Curve. And this one was crazy, crazy popular back in the day. I don't know why that won't focus. There it goes, finally, sorry guys. So this one is really floral, like it opens with like, or at least I get a lot of like a lily note, also peony, which a lot of people love peony, and I just don't, guys. I just don't. I don't hate it. If it's like kind of like in there but mixed in with a lot of other things, it's fine. But peony is not for me. Let me smell this again. Yeah, it's just a really floral fragrance. I do get a little bit of citrus and some woodiness in there, but it's too floral for me. I just don't like this anymore. So Curve is a no for me, but yeah, it's still around. So, you know, I know some people still like it. Don't be offended. I just personally wouldn't wear it. But that's my pick for fragrance I used to wear that I would no longer wear. Okay, we're almost done. Question number 8 is, what fragrance did you used to wear that you wish you could still wear, but it's been discontinued? Womp womp. So I found many listings for the fragrance that I kind of was thinking of, and they were all insanely expensive. But I did find somebody selling some little like minis for cheap, or well, I mean not cheap, but affordable for what they were. I wasn't appalled at paying the price for the mini, is what I should say. So this one here is a little mini of another Armani fragrance. This is Armani Mania. And I also got a little decant here. I actually bought 2 of these from that person and I decanted one so I could spray it. So this one, it has a uniqueness to it that I think is part of the reason why this is the one I would really like to be able to wear again, but it's just cost prohibitive because people are taking their, like, you know, 1 ounce bottles that used to sell for, I don't know what, probably 40 or 50 bucks and selling them for over $100. And I'm not doing that, guys. So anyway, this has pink pepper, it has bay leaf in it, which is very unique, but it's actually detectable. Like, I can actually smell bay leaf in this, which is really cool. It also has some citrus and sandalwood in here, but it's just kind of unique. And so I think this is the one that I would pick to bring back of anything that I can think of that I used to wear that's been discontinued. I really like it. But yeah, so I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna actually use this up in my little decant that I made, but after that, I probably won't ever be able to wear it again, which is kind of sad. So that's the fragrance I used to wear that I wish I could still wear. All right, the last question is question number 9. And I know you guys like things in 10s, but you're just gonna have to live with 9 because that's how many I have. So anyway, question number 9 is, what fragrance from your past has a great memory associated with it? And of course, I could talk about ones that I talked about in my feeling sentimental tag, but I decided to pick something different and something that I haven't talked about yet. So I went with this one here. This is from Vera Wang and it is called Princess. And again, this one's still around. You can get this for a relatively inexpensive cost now because it has been around for so long. But I picked this one because this is the very first fragrance that my husband bought for me. So he actually picked this out. Now, not this bottle. I used up the bottle he bought me a long time ago. I will say it's not like, I like it. It's not my favorite fragrance though, so I think that's why I just didn't rebuy it once I used up the bottle. But I decided to go ahead and pick it up because I kind of wanted to smell it again. And like I said, I always, this is another one that I've always associated with my husband because he bought this for me as a gift. And I think, I want to say we'd probably been together for like a year at the time that he bought me this. So it's been quite some time since I've smelled it. But let me get my little tester here. So in this one, I get some vanilla, I get some like a chocolatey sort of note, and then I get some florals, but I also know there is a note of guava in here. And I used to drink those guava juices. What are they called? I can't remember the name of them, but maybe you know what I'm talking about. They're like, I don't know. I used to drink these juices that were like guava juice. Anyway, so I kind of can pick that up, but I feel like I'm not familiar enough anymore with the scent of guava. But I do know that's in there because it's like a really unique thing. So anyway, I get vanilla, some chocolate, but then a lot of florals as well. I wouldn't say this is like an overly gourmand fragrance, even though it does have those sort of gourmand type notes in here. But yeah, it's pleasant, it's nice. He liked it, which is why he picked it, I assume. No, I know for a fact. I remember him saying like he really liked that one. But anyway, that is my pick for a fragrance from my past that has a good memory associated with it. Okay, so those are my 9 questions for the Ghosts of Perfumes past tag. Now, I really hope that you guys all decide to do this tag. I am going to tag some people specifically that I would really, really like to see do this, and I will put them down in the description box. I'm going to tag a bunch of people. So basically anybody that I can think of, but I know I'm going to miss some people. So if I don't think to like message you and say, hey, I'm tagging you in this video, then please feel free to do it. Also, if you don't have a YouTube, but you have an Instagram and you want to do it there, or you have some other platform like a blog or something, you want to do it there, go for it. I would love that. And if you don't have any of those things, but you just want to have some fun and participate, leave your comments down below and tell me your answers to these 9 questions, because I think that would be super fun. All right, last thing before I go is the giveaway. So I've decided, since I picked up some of these fragrances, just kind of to jog my memory, and I know I won't wear them all, I'm gonna give away some of them. So let me show you which ones I'm gonna give away. First of all, I'm gonna give away the one from Cody. This is Exclamation. I'm also going to be giving away, as you might expect, because I don't like the floral fragrances anymore, this bottle of Curve. And of course, I've sprayed them because I smelled them for this, but I did save the boxes. So you will get these in the boxes if you win. And then the third fragrance I'm gonna give away, I think you guys will be excited about. And this one is the Ralph Lauren. So those 3, I honestly don't really foresee myself wearing at all or very much, even though I actually do still, I really still like this one. And I enjoy this one. not my most favorite, and I don't particularly love this one, but it's because I don't really like really floral things. So those are the 3 that I'm gonna give away. I did save the boxes. I will put them back in the boxes for you guys before I send them, but just be aware, I have sprayed them a few times for this video. So here are the rules for the giveaway. First of all, you need to be in the United States, just simply because there have been a lot of issues with shipping perfumes in particular out of the United States lately. So US only. I'm really sorry for those of you outside the US. But if you do live in the US, then you need to make sure you are, number 1, subscribed to my channel. Number 2, give this video a big thumbs up. And number 3, just leave a comment down below and tell me you would like to enter the giveaway. And if there is somewhere you would like me to contact you, like an email address or an Instagram handle, something like that, leave that below too, because if I just reply to your comment, sometimes people get that notification, but sometimes they don't, and then you might miss it if you win. So yeah, I will also post the winner on my Instagram, so if you follow me on there, it's at Olfactophiles, you can see the winner there. But that's it. So subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment below just simply telling me that you would like to be entered in this giveaway. That's it. Pretty simple, straightforward. You don't have to go anywhere else. So I'm gonna leave this giveaway open through July 22nd at midnight Eastern time, because that should give everybody about a week. And I feel like most of you guys will watch my video within a week. So make sure that you've subscribed, commented, and liked this video within the next week. And on the 22nd, actually it'll probably be the 23rd when I'll announce it, because I'll be asleep at midnight, to be honest. I'm old. So on the 23rd, I will randomly draw a name and I will post the winner on Instagram, but I will also comment here below the winner's comment and just let them know that they've won. But like I said, if you want me to contact you somewhere else just to make sure you get that notification, then let me know down below in your comments. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tag video. That is the end of my series for Tag Week, and I have some other content coming up. I actually want to do sort of like a perfume education type of series that I'll occasionally post a video for, so be looking for that. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and all the videos for Tag Week, and I really hope you guys decide to do the Ghosts of Perfumes Past tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!